Every now and then, I would go on the internet and TikTok to entertain myself, whether that would be through watching videos about funny monkeys and gorillas to Family Guy funny moment videos. These videos always amuse my smooth brain, and I always die of laughter when watching them. Not so much at the Family Guy videos, but you get the idea. Well, recently, I stumbled upon a couple of clips from a show with a bunch of Australian cartoon dogs known as Bluey. Turns out there's a huge following with this show, most of which being children and parents, but there's also a lot of adults who find the show pretty enjoyable, myself included. I fell down the pipeline of Bluey clips on TikTok, and from there I decided to watch a couple of full episodes of the show, and honestly, it's a very well-made show. But why do so many adults like me enjoy the show so much when it's a show meant for kids? Is it the humor that anyone can find funny and enjoyable no matter what age? Or is it the heartwarming and sometimes emotional lessons and themes of the show? In this video, I'll be talking about the history of the show's creation, why it was made, and what makes Bluey such a unique kids show and makes it differ from all the other kids shows that are on TV right now. Yes, this is in fact a video essay about a kids show, so suck it up. Bluey is an Australian animated kids show that first aired in 2018. The show follows the main character, Bluey. Wow, who would have thought? She is a blue heeler puppy who lives with her father, Bandit, mother, Chili, and younger sister, Bingo. Just like this theme song of the show! How epic is that? The show mainly focuses on Bluey and her family going on adventures that mainly focus on imaginative play. And most of the time, the show will tell the story and valuable life lessons through the characters playing together. The show was created by film director and show creator Joe Bruh. Joe Brumm. Joe Brumm. He is mainly known for his work creating the show Bluey, but has also created a few short films in the past before the creation of Bluey, such as Cleverman and The Meek, and has worked on other television shows in the past too. During the creation of Bluey, Joe was inspired by his experience in raising two daughters. With this, he wanted to portray the importance of children's imaginative play and implement that into the show. What makes this show so relatable to children and even adults is that when we were younger, we used imagination when it came to playing with friends or playing with good old mom and dad. From playing as an employee at a hotel, working at a restaurant, or playing as a librarian.
Lion hungry!
Bruh.
Yeah. We've done something similar to this when we were younger through imagination, which makes the show more relatable and somewhat nostalgic for adults because of the show's portrayal of imaginative play. One thing I really enjoy about the show is how different it is from any other kids show nowadays, and doesn't follow the stereotypical things that you would think of when it comes to kids shows. Most kids shows tend to lean towards the stereotype of teaching kids certain topics through fourth wall breaks, as if they're talking to a toddler, which, I mean, that is the average viewer of those shows. I digress. As well as to have a weak story structure with colorful characters that essentially only appeals to, you guessed it, kids. But with Bluey, it's a lot different than all of these shows, because it not only shows lessons for kids, but also topics such as growing up and being an adult, and even lessons and themes about parenting, which can appeal to more than just kids, but also parents and adults. Some episodes of Bluey, such as Baby Race, focuses on Chili, in which she demonstrates to her children the importance of running your own race, which essentially is to not allow envy and spite to derail you from reaching your goals. In this episode, Chili talks to her kids about the time when Bluey was a baby and wanted Bluey to walk first before the other mother's children, and is determined to reach that goal, only to feel like a failure when she struggles and doesn't get to that goal. Later in the episode, she gets some support and encouragement from Coco's mom, as she tells Chili that she's doing great. It's one of those episodes that really shows much needed support for the mothers out in the world who might be going through similar feelings about raising a child. But there is one episode that relates to both children and parents, and is one of my favorite episodes of the show, Sleepy Time. This episode dives deep into the topic of separation anxiety, in which Bingo is determined to have a big girl sleep and to wake up in her own bed. This shows the separation issue that Bingo has with being alone and wanting to stay close to others. The episode transitions between real life and Bingo's dream, and Oh my god, this is such a beautifully well animated moment in the show. When Bingo is in her dream and she's flying around in space only to come upon the sun that is speaking to her in her mother's voice, telling her that she will always be there for her and that she loves her. Bingo leaves and wakes up in her own bed. Now I'm a big manly dude, and I would be lying if I told you that I didn't cry while watching this episode. Because I did. I did in fact cry at the end of the episode. It's just such a relatable episode and a very emotional one at most. Has such a powerful message and makes you emotionally attached. And the music in this episode makes it even more powerful and emotional. Speaking of parents, can we all talk about my favorite character in the show? Bandit! Bandit Healer is the freaking best. Let's all be for real now, okay? He is a caring father who's always involved with his children and family when it comes to playing with them, helping them out, and just being very supportive. I consider him to be quite a family guy. Bandit is a good father, and genuinely a well-written character. He's a role model, and what a father should be like. He's also goofy, silly, wacky, and epic. The best character, hands down. I also really enjoy the moments where he plays with the kids with the unicorn puppet, and every single episode when that darn puppet appears, there's always chaos that happens in the episode.
Shoes! Bluey! Oh, I know. Unicorns. What's your favorite food?
Children.
Oh.
When it comes to the kids in the show, their characters feel real. Like how kids actually act like in real life. This is done by not only the brilliant writing team that the show has, but also the fact that the children's characters are voiced by actual children. And what's more interesting about this is that none of the kid voice actors are credited in the show, as this is most likely done so that the kids won't have to deal with media attention and be seen by the public eye, and that the kids can just live the rest of their childhood without being recognized anywhere they go. It's just really wholesome in a way that the creators of the show care about the kids' voice actors as much as they care about making the show that so many people love. It's just nice. One thing I love seeing in shows, especially kids shows like Bluey, is representation. Representation is very important to have in television shows and movies, especially shows meant for kids. And this show nails it when it comes to respectful representation when the show brings up topics of characters having disabilities and mental disorders. For example, one character who got praised by many viewers for proper representation is the character Doggy in the episode Turtle Boy. The character is a deaf dog and uses Australian Sign Language known as Auslan, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, to communicate with his hearing mom. In the episode, Bingo finds a toy turtle at the playground and wants to take it home, but Dad says it's not the done thing, and that someone else might be looking for it. Doggy is introduced and is playing with the toy turtle as well at the park, and is taught by his mom the same lesson, and to not take it home because it's not the done thing. At the end of the episode, Bingo is back at the park again with her father, but decides to leave the toy turtle at the park, as she doesn't want the owner of the toy to feel sad. Only for Doggy to show up the next day to play with it and to take it home. The episode brings up lessons of not taking things home that aren't yours, but what stands out the most is Doggy and the representation of those who are deaf that the episode has. Again, another episode that made me emotional and cry. Oh my god, what is up with this show? Why is this show making me tear up so much? Where are the onions? Who's dropping them? Another thing that I want to bring up is the soundtrack and the overall music in this show. Can we just talk about how good the soundtrack and the music is in the show? Every single episode has fresh new songs that always fit the mood in each and every episode and topic. It's a lot of the time joyful, playful, bright, and just childlike music. And it's just so comforting and really nice and good. What's even crazier is that if you go into a record store now, they sell Bluey vinyl records with a bunch of songs and music from the episodes. Honestly, if I ever see it in a store, I'm buying it on the spot, hands down. The music is just that good. But I gotta be real quick about it though, because those darn Bluey fans are quite the creatures, and they'll literally buy any and all Bluey merch they see in a store. They'll even beat up a child just to get a taste of that muffin. Literally! There's a character literally called Muffin. She is one chaotic little creature, I tell you what. Also, gotta love the numerous references that the show makes about other kinds of media, from referencing The Simpsons numerous times, to even referencing Undertale, and even Vinesauce, Vinny, and Joel? What? And also Sans? Undertale is literally in the show too! Bro, these writers are awesome. Bluey is a wonderful show, and has so many special and great things about it. From the great writing of the show, the important stories and lessons in each episode that both adults and parents can relate to the amazing music and soundtrack in the show. The characters in the show are bright, colorful, and alive, and feel real, overall making them very well written. The animation is beautiful, smooth, and very well animated, and the art style is bright and colorful. There's a reason why people love this show, and these are some of the reasons why that is, and why all of this makes for such a unique kids show. The show even has a higher rating than Breaking Bad, for crying out loud. It's that good. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll be making more videos and content like this in the near future, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video again. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!